everybody, and welcome to the Mind of Marlin and another treetop talk. The ducks are fed, the chickens are fed, and now it's time to feed your head. Be the first domino. Of course, the inertia is to overcome your fear, the fear of falling, because when you're the first domino, you are the first to go down. Sometimes going first means not knowing any better. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. So why do angels fear to tread? Because they know better. They aren't fools. They tell us to look before we leap, but isn't it better to have somebody else leap first? And if they survive, then your chances are better. Perhaps they just don't hit the rock that's there under the water, waiting for you. The early bird may get the worm, but it's the second mouse who gets the cheese. Imagine that second mouse telling the first one, "Oh, I've had that cheese before. It was great. No, really, I want you to have the first bite. Please, after you." When you come to a double set of doors, the kind with an entryway first and then there's the second one behind it, and somebody opens up the door for you to go in, what do? I feel obliged to open the second door and let them go through first. After you. No, after you. No, after you. And then both of you go at the same time and bump into each other. I've spent time in China, and there I didn't have to wait. I was assured that they would go first. In Latin cultures, I found them to be touchy-feely, but in China it was kind of pushy-shovey. I was standing in line for almost 2 hours to get into an exhibit at the World Expo in China. I was perhaps now 50 feet from the door, and this guy jumps the line. The folks, who I'd come to know over the last 2 hours, were all astonished that such a brazen act would happen. That hard-earned place in line was being ignored. And I said, "Isn't anybody going to say something?" And their response to me was, "You first." So I got out of line, got a security guard, brought him back to the scene of the crime. I didn't speak any Chinese and they didn't speak any English, so I had to pantomime what was going on. I had no watch, but I pretended that I did and pointed to him and the rest of the people in the line, and the moment was tense. The man was questioned and other people pointed and spoke rapidly in a language I did not understand. Justice prevailed and the man was taken out of line. The people in line were amazed and astonished that this white Western man would speak up and be the first person to do something. And for the next 50 feet, I was a hero. It is the coward who says "you first." And the expression "a coward dies 1,000 deaths, but the hero dies but once." What they don't say about that is that the coward probably lives longer too. When somebody else goes first, you're safe. You can retire in the comfort of not losing, of not failing, of not being ridiculed. The people who say "you first" are the followers, are not the leaders. They are not the ones remembered. But I ask myself, if I'm remembered but not around to appreciate being remembered, what difference does it make? It was others who wanted Martin Luther King to be first. It was others who wanted Gandhi to be first. The first openly gay politician, there were others hoping someone else would come out first because they knew the repercussions. Maybe others who say "you first" want courage modeled for them. Maybe they want to see another launch to chart the course because they don't know how. When a new dish that has never been served before anybody comes to the table, isn't there somebody saying, "Are we supposed to eat that?" You first. We give away the opportunity when we say "you first," to be the first one to take the first bite. But you can bet if it was warm chocolate chip cookies that come out of the oven, you're not going to hear anybody going "you first." And the situation can be flipped. If you're a shepherd and you care for your flock, the time will come when you put the "you" first because you want her to survive, to bear her young. If the ship is going down and the lifeboats are being loaded, it's the brave one who says "you first." If a house is on fire and there's only one ladder to safety, a parent will say to the child, "you first." Or when the storm has raged for so long and the house is flooding and the water's rising and the couple climbs up onto the roof to escape and the helicopter comes along, they drop the harness down and the guy says to the woman, "I love you, you go first." How many movie scenes have we seen where one person went first and the other one never made it, but was remembered for their heroism? We get to make up the story, as I have, about what it means to say "you first," whether the person is a hero or a coward, depends on the circumstances. It's easy to pile on afterwards, but know that upon whom you pile, there will be another piling on top of you. It can even mean when somebody who does not have the full command of the language runs a race and loses and then approaches the winner and says, "You first." There is an Arab expression that goes, "The person who draws from the well for others drinks first." Why? Because if they don't, they won't be able to draw water for very long. So I say to all of you, do good for others. But if you don't put yourself first, nobody else will, unless it is to eat something that they're afraid of. By making you first, you will have more opportunities to serve others. Thanks for tuning in. It's always fun. We'll see you next time. Aloha.